Bad landlords. Ever have one? How about a property management company that are scammers? I'm sure a few of you out there have some stories you could share. They seem to be multiplying in how bad it's getting with these guys. Let's see what this professional has to say about them.
All right, I'm reaching out to my other fellow workers in apartment complexes, property management. What's going on? I'm starting to notice the trend. So I've been doing apartment maintenance for about 6 years. I've worked at a handful of different properties and different companies. Something's going on. So this morning, the the guy has my same position across the street at a different property, different company. He came over this morning and goes, "Hey, who's your vendor for windows, doors, all your glass?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I use this company. And he's like, "Yeah, that's who I've been using." But he won't answer my calls anymore. He won't come back out. I was like, "Well, I can't get him to come out here to the property either. Like, I have to go to his place and buy this stuff with cash and then come over here and install it myself." Um, he won't come out here more. And then he's like, "Yeah, man, that's what they say to me. He won't come out." And yeah, this is what's going on? And he goes, "Yeah, my plumbers won't come back out. Electricians, I'm like, "Who do you use for plumbers?" And he named this one company. I'm like, "I love that company too. I've used them for years at different properties. They won't come back out here anymore." Well, yeah, landscapers that owe so much money here won't pay them. So there's a lot of things on the property that you have to be contracted out. Like I can do a lot of things. Like I'll change a light switch and an electrical outlet, but I can't do any major electrical repairs. You know, call a company out here to do that. I can't do any major plumbing. I can remove a clock from a bathroom sink or something, but I can't do major plumbing repairs.
You hear that? These big private equity, multi-million, if not multi-billion dollar corporations. They're not paying their vendors. This guy here, he's doing the repair work for them. He's out in the field daily, getting the job done. And he's trying to get all the jobs done. But what's happening? His employer, the boss, not paying the bills. And he has a buddy across the street doing the same job with the same experience. And you heard him. He's trying to do everything he can. I mean, this guy says, "Hey, I can do a little bit of plumbing. I can do a little bit of electrical work. Sure, you can do the minor things. But when it comes to the big jobs, you got to be certified. Doing electrical work, that has to pass code. So he's doing the best that he can with what he has to work with. And his employer is making his job a nightmare because they're being cheap.
You got to get a plumber out here, and they won't. You try to call these vendors, and they just won't. The vendors for my fire alarm systems and sprinkler systems, they just won't answer my calls anymore. They won't respond to my text message. And sometimes if they do, they'll tell me straight up, "Michael, we love you. We think you're a great guy, but we're not going to come do work for your company anymore because they won't pay us."
Think about that. He's established relationships with all the vendors that he needs to get his job done on a daily basis. So he has probably a handful of vendors out there that, okay, I need a Windows guy, or I need a plumber. He has it all lined up, built relationships over time. And as you heard what he said, they like him. So if you were these corporations, these insanely rich, deep pocket corporations, you should take this guy and cherish what he's done for you. He's built a good reputation with the vendors that you so desperately need, because without guys like him, your business falls apart. He's the glue. He's the guy in the trenches daily, getting the job done, building a reputation for your company. And you heard it. The vendors like him. What better position to be in? If the vendors like him, he's probably getting the best deals and the best response time possible for the property management company, because they're dealing with him and not them. And all the corporations are doing is eroding the relationships that he has built over time by doing a good job, because they're being cheap. They're not paying. So they're destroying his hard work. simply because they don't want to pay the bills. Let's see what else he has to say.
There's a backlog. Just so much money. I think we owed a flooring company upwards of $23,000 before they said something and go, hey, we're not coming back on. The thing is that the rent keeps going up. My pay's not going up. I didn't even get a holiday bonus. The vendors aren't getting paid. Where's the money going? Where's the money going?
Great question. Where is the money going? You heard him. The rent's gone up, which means the corporations are bringing in more revenue. And they didn't respect or acknowledge his hard work and give him a bonus. So the revenues increased. They didn't acknowledge his good performance. And they're raking in more cash. What's that all about? I think we all know the answer to that.
Like, it wasn't always this way. I mean, we used to be able to just call up contractors. Before I started working here, they had somebody that in my position that didn't know how to work on air conditioners. So they contracted all that out. They would spend like $5,000 a month on contractors, except now that I'm here, I do them myself, and maybe I spend maybe $800 a month on parts that I need and do the work myself. But so where's that money? And the rent was less then. They were taking in less and paying out more. But now suddenly nobody can get paid.
He makes a good point. So they raised the rent, like I said previously. They're bringing in more revenue. And then what did he do for them? The corporations were paying for contractors to come in. And he greatly reduced the cost of doing business because he came in and said, oh, I can work on some air conditioners. Instead of spending $5,000 in contractors, he might spend $800. So he saves them a ton of money. And they don't acknowledge that he was a cost savings method by doing the job himself, which means it makes him an even more valuable employee. And they don't acknowledge it. They don't care. They don't care. This is the kind of guy you want working for your company if you're a property manager. And they're crapping all over him. They don't appreciate him. You got to wonder where their mind is.
What's going on? And also, like, the requirements to come and work here are so high. You have to have so much insurance just to step foot on the property. You even have to pay. If you are a vendor and need you out here to work on stuff, you have to pay an application fee just for the privilege of working here. Nobody wants to do that. There's so much red tape you got to go through just to get on the property to work here. And these people, these vendors, they're so busy with stuff. Like, any tiny little roadblock you put in front of them, they're like, here, fill out this form, send this email, you got to pay this fee. They're like, nah, I'm good. I got plenty of work. And so our companies are coming at us going, why can't you find people to come and do this stuff? What is happening? Because it's not just my property, not just my company. So who else is going through this? Is your ownership and your management company not paying your vendors? What's happening?
He makes some great points. You hear that at the end? What he has to go through daily. They should want 100 of him to make their lives easy. But instead they don't appreciate him. They're not assisting him. They're making his job much more difficult. And what he said at the end shows you where the mindset is. The audacity these multi-million and multi-billion-dollar corporations, they have that they make you jump through hoops for the privilege of working for them. You have to fill out applications and pay an application fee just for the privilege of, oh, we can go to your property and repair something that you can't do on your own. That's the mindset. The ego involved, it's insane. Let's take a look at some of the comments about this. We own an HVAC company and have a list of corporate-owned apartment complexes we won't work for because they owe us so much money. That guy said it right there. He just reinforces this comment, reinforces exactly what that repair guy was referring to. So it's showing it is widespread. I just saw a plumber, oh, he put crap back into the pump because the property manager didn't pay him. Good for him. Now they're going to have to call someone else to take her the job for the second time. My college apartment was $700 for one bedroom. Private equity bought the complex. Same unit is $1,800 with no renovations done. That's insane. That's almost triple. 2.5 times the amount of rent for nothing other than new management and where their mind is. You can't justify that. Everyone knows what that is. Why are they doing that? And what is the answer? We know where the mindset's at. Yeah, and the building is falling apart and people still have to pay ridiculous rent. Exactly. $700, that's great. $1,800 for one bedroom. Can you imagine what your living arrangement would be if you budgeted for $700 and then the next month it's $1,800? That could wipe you out. That's a lot of extra money just for rent. That is a game changer. So what's it all about? Oh, this comment sums it up. We all know where and why. It's greed. And investors and companies taking all the profits. But when it all comes crashing down, they blame the poor. Isn't that the truth? And that is the answer. Greed. It's greed. The entitlement they have that they think they can dictate any rent, any ridiculous rate, and you're going to pay for it because you need them when they need you. That's the ego involved. Greed. As Gordon Gekko would say.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
Well, apparently greed does work. It's happening right now all over the country, and it's been getting worse the past few years. So, what do you guys think? Share your thoughts and experience, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next round.